You know the old cliche, justice is really just us? Or how about this one? Everybody in prison says they're innocent, but some really, truly are.
How long were you in a Pennsylvania prison?
12 years and 3 months. 12 years and 3 months.
How old are you now? And how old were you when you went in?
I went in at 17. Right now, I'm 30.
Another case of injustice, now on Black land.
And now,
As a brown person, you just feel so invisible.
where we're from.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this joyful day.
We celebrate freedom. Where we are.
Get on the ground!
I know someone heard something.
And where we're going.
We the people means all the people.
The Black Information Network presents Blackland with your host, Vanessa Tyler.
More than a dozen years on the inside for a shooting, and CJ Rice didn't even pull the trigger. In fact, he wasn't there and was not physically able to escape the scene of the crime if he was. Now, 12 years later, he is free, charges overturned, exonerated. CJ Rice, welcome to Blackland.
Hey, what's going on?
How long have you been out?
All right, as of today, about 100 and almost 4 months, give or take. Almost 4 months. About 157 days.
And I find it interesting you counting it in days. Wow. Have you adjusted?
With certain things, a little bit. But with other things, I still get anxiety. Like a lot of anxiety.
When you say anxiety, do you get anxiety about being in crowds, or do you get anxiety that you could be picked up again for doing absolutely nothing?
Sometimes it could be both, right? So like in a crowd, I look around and see like, dang, how many people even understand what's going on the other side of the wall right now, right? And it's not really like a bad anxiety, but it's still like some kind of anxiousness, right? And it's not really on a bad connotation or a denotation saying the word anxiety, but it's more so like an uneasy feeling. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
That could be put to a few different situations, right? Because like even like going to go get something to eat, simple as that, right? But you'll see like the amount of freedom that's out here. It's blowing my mind compared to in there. You see what I'm saying? So it's still certain stuff that I'll be like hesitant to do. And I'm like, yo, I ain't gotta ask nobody to go do that. Right?
Mm.
That's deep, right? Because that's like psychological for real, for real. That's deep.
In other words, you're free, but you feel like you're not free.
No, I'm free. And I know I'm free. I feel like I'm free. But at certain points, I catch myself having to second guess if I could do something without asking. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. What's day-to-day like for you?
Right now, I'm focused on studies. I'm enrolled in school. Going to school to get my paralegal certificate. I'm on that right now. So hopefully I'll have some good news before the end of the year that I'm certified paralegal. The interesting thing about the paralegal and the lawyer relationship, the paralegal is actually the one who could put in the substantial amount of groundwork that's necessary to help somebody, right? So if the paralegal does a great job, somebody has a great chance of beating the case. The paralegal does a not so great job, those chances are slim or slimmer, dimmed down some. So I think for every good lawyer, they have to have a great paralegal behind them, right? And for everybody that's in a situation where they depending on somebody else to fight for them because they don't know the language of the law, they need a great paralegal, not just a good lawyer. You see what I'm saying?
Which, of course, brings us to your personal story. You didn't have either.
Talk about things coming full circle, right?
Is that why you're so passionate about this?
Think so. But it's also like, so having to study it as long as I did and, to really try to fight in a sense, I developed a knack for it. So I got no problem with reading for an hour, 2, 3 hours, writing for equal amount of time, I had to do that. So that became habit. So it's like, if I already developed a knack for it, why not get the accolade for it so that I could be able to do it, professionally?
How instrumental were you in your case, in your freedom? I mean,
Um, I know every night I went to bed knowing that I tried my hardest, right? So
so you wrote material, wrote letters, you did the research.
as much as I could, as much as I could comprehend,
Mm.
anything that I came upon, I didn't leave any. If it was a pebble, forget a rock. If it was a pebble, I was turning over grains of sand looking for a way out.
We know your story because of CNN's Jake Tapper first did an Atlantic magazine story on you in 2022. It made the cover. Then a CNN-style documentary on your release. You were a cause celeb. What did all that attention do for you and to you?
But for me, I think it allowed what I was saying to be heard because somebody else was saying it, even though they were saying it like the same way that I was saying it for years on paper. But sometimes it's not about what you're saying. It could be who's saying it, or So
And who was saying it? A respected white doctor, father of a prominent newsman with an international TV news platform.
In a legal case that we've been following for years here on The Lead involving CJ Rice, who is now a free man.
CJ came to Jake Tapper's attention through his father, Dr. Theodore Tapper, who was CJ's pediatrician. CJ was 17 at the time of the liquor store shooting, where the finger was wrongly pointed at him. Dr. Tapper testified at CJ's trial, the eyewitness who claimed seeing CJ run from the scene of the crime. As Dr. Tapper explains on CNN, running? CJ was recovering from being shot himself 3 times 3 weeks before the liquor store incident. So run? No way. Dr. Tapper says he could barely walk.
He had staples in his abdomen over approximately an 8 or 9 inch surgical incision from his breastbone straight down as far as you could go.
But CJ was picked out of a lineup, even though the witness first picked others, something the jury never heard. But CJ says his public defender, a black woman, did not even do the basics needed to free him. She never gathered his cell phone records, proving he was on the west side of Philly when the crime took place on the south side. Bottom line, there was nothing there. And Philadelphia's district attorney, Larry Krasner, now looking back, there was nothing concrete tying CJ to the case.
If this case had occurred yesterday, it is very likely that it wouldn't be so murky, that we would have phone records that would geolocate to exactly where Mr. Rice was, or pretty close to exactly where he was.
Luckily, the person shot at the crime scene reportedly was not seriously injured, but the damage was done, tearing into a raggedy justice system again. Another innocent black man swept up in prison with the law throwing away the key.
We do so many of these stories. What percentage do you think people, black people, are innocent inside?
From my personal perspective, from what I've seen, especially in Pennsylvania, like the DOC in Pennsylvania specifically. Now across the country, we could use these Pennsylvania numbers, then they may apply, but let's say give or take 10 points, right? Plus or minus 10 points. In Pennsylvania, I'm gonna say a good 40%.
That's nearly half.
At least, right? And that's for everybody that went to trial and for people that took deals. Because you got people that's taking deals for crimes that they didn't commit, but the lawyer refusing to fight for them, or they feel like the lawyer going to, sell them out. So they go ahead and take a plea deal, or they don't, and they wind up getting a life sentence, or 25 to 50, or the maximum sentence. It's sickening. It's gut wrenching, for real, for real.
We are speaking with CJ Rice, a free man who spent more than a dozen years behind bars for a crime he did not and could not commit. We hear a lot about court-appointed attorneys, but in your case, it was really astonishingly bad. You were according to the reports you've done, telling her what to do, begging her what to do, telling your mother to tell her what to do.
That happens every day, right? It's just that people don't understand that when they represent somebody, that they really got a person behind that paperwork, right? It's literally a person behind that paperwork. It's not just the docket number. It's a son, it's a brother, it's an uncle, it's a person behind that paperwork. People and the lawyers, I don't know if they don't always get that, or I get it, they be swamped. But it's like I gotta do better. Especially if you're saying that and you professing that this is your profession.
The public defender who represented CJ has since passed away, but it took years, CJ says, for him to get competent help, including the backing of Dream.org, an organization fighting to reduce the prison industrial complex that sweeps up the innocent like CJ right along with the guilty. Dream.org, Janos Martin says CJ did not get the justice that is the right of every American under the Constitution.
CJ Rice is somebody who's had an incredibly difficult time navigating the injustices of the criminal legal system from start to finish, from being wrongly accused to inadequate assistance of counsel, to his difficulty in getting the true story of what happened out there. And, when we met several lawyers from the Reform Alliance who were connected to CJ Rice, we wanted to do what we could to help. We helped spearhead a number of petitions to the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office to pay closer attention to the injustices in CJ's case and try to get his case dismissed. We're very fortunate. We're very excited that after a long period of time, we got the result we wanted and CJ is finally home. But we've also tried to do our best to help CJ on his return because, like so many other people coming home from prison, we don't have a good safety net in this country to help people get back on their feet. So we've been doing whatever we can to support CJ. And as unjust as his case was, we also want to shine a light on the fact that there are many people still in our prisons who are innocent and trying to fight to have their day in court the way CJ did.
Dream.org wants it right, and so Dream tackles many issues. Talk about them.
Absolutely. We're committed to closing prison doors and opening doors of opportunity into the green economy. And what we mean by that is many of the same communities, especially Black and brown communities, that are historically the most over-policed and over-incarcerated are also places that aren't exposed to all the economic opportunities that come to other neighborhoods. So for us, we really believe that in civil rights and in people's rights in the criminal justice system, but we also believe that we need to bring good jobs of the future to those same communities. So different parts of our program work with different pieces of that. And, we think in the long run, that's how we're going to make this country better.
I know one of the issues you want us to be aware of and stop is the construction of this $500 million mega prison in Kentucky. Talk about that.
Absolutely. We have the federal prison system is something that a lot of people don't realize it's the biggest prison system in the United States, bigger than any state. There are about 130 prisons scattered across the country. And we actually have finally seen some success over the last few years in bringing the federal prison population down. So now is absolutely the wrong time to be spending $500 million building a new federal prison in Kentucky, a place that already uses prison as a tool of economic development.
You can almost see who's already going to be filling those prisons.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that, since it's a federal prison, it's people from cities all across the United States, not just people from Kentucky. So one of the things we did to testify against this prison is bring a van of people from DC whose loved ones are incarcerated in Kentucky. They have to drive 8 hours every time they want to see them.
Dream.org is also making sure CJ has the money he needs to get on his feet by starting a GoFundMe in the name of CJ Rice. At last check, the GoFundMe for CJ Rice was still short of its goal.
I'm really excited to hear that CJ is looking into becoming a paralegal or an attorney and really does, I think, have a really bright future ahead of him. But it's true that for so many people coming home from prison, you're at square zero financially. You've got lost time with your family. Your community ties have atrophied. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that people who are directly impacted formerly incarcerated are able to get trained for jobs that actually pay good wages for the future. So we've got a program that helps train people up on tech jobs of the future. We've got connections to scholarships for programs that will train people up on jobs in the green economy. So the solar and wind industry, which are incredibly fast growing industries. I mean, these are jobs where you can get paid well if you're trained right. And so we need to get that training to formerly incarcerated people and even currently incarcerated people, because if the state is going to hold you in prison, you might as well get trained up so that when you come home, you're ready to go and can support yourself and your family.
As CJ continues to inhale the fresh air of freedom, he continues his studies. He is so close to being a paralegal to help people like him, he can taste it and replaces the bitter taste of the dozen years locked up in the system.
For everybody that helped me, I appreciate it so much. I'm trying to be normal, right? So I'm not used to it, but I'm doing good, I think. I'm doing good. Once I get this paralegal certificate, I should be straight after that. I should be straight.
What's your message to the Philadelphia prison system that held you and finally let you go?
They got to do better. They know they got to do better. That's the baseline, right? They got to do better. We got to do better. They don't see us as us. Like I said, it's not just a name or it's not just a docket number. It's a person. Like, it's a person. The job description is to met out justice, not to do anything other than that, right? So if that's the case, stick to the job description and do the job to the best of your abilities. Don't cut any corners. Do your job.
How are you feeling now physically? How's your health?
I'm pretty well. I'm gonna go out and run tomorrow morning. I go out, do my little running, little couple push-ups, keep it together. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Oh, CJ Rice, thank you so much for talking with us and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Miss Vanessa Tyler. You take it easy. Appreciate it.
I'm Vanessa Tyler. Be sure to like and to subscribe to Blackland. Join me next time. We have a new episode dropping every week.